Spring is known as a time of rebirth and renewal. On this beautiful spring day, there's only one thing that's being renewed, and it's the biggest rivalry in South Louisiana. Forget about flowers and spring showers. Today, it's all about bragging rights and playoff berths, as the Santa Maula Lady Gators host the East Ascension Lady Spartans in the renewal of their fierce rivalry, and it's exclusively on the REV Game of the Week.
It all began in 1935, a new era in telecommunications, right here in Southeast Louisiana, born from the ambitions of several local families, with a clear vision and outlook focused on the future, connecting people across 10 parishes, one household at a time, powering an internet superhighway from the bayou to the river, built to deliver the speed and reliability every customer needs. We are REV, 90 years of building connections.
Chris's Specialty Foods has you covered for tailgating this season. We do all the prep work so you can spend time enjoying your family and friends. Steaks, burgers, sausage, chicken, wild game, and many other great pork options. Our central location is now open on Wax Road behind the Walmart. And the new Highland location serves hot lunches and has a meeting space for your work team. New Orleans and Millerville are rocking as well. It's fast, affordable, and delicious. It's Chris's Specialty Foods.
Everybody loves Chris's.
Technology, a modern blessing, but a curse when issues arise. Your business systems should enhance your operations, not complicate them. REV Business is your human touch in the digital world, with personal support and meaningful solutions to your real-world challenges. We are a local team who will do whatever it takes to keep you up and running for internet, hosted phone, and security. Experience the difference of working with REV Business. 90 years of connecting Louisiana.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another great softball game here on the REV Game of the Week. I'm Jimmy Frederick. Along with me, my broadcast partner, Jeff Porch. And Jeff, it is a warm spring day, and the wind is a-whipping.
The wind is blowing up to 27 miles an hour to left field. So I think you always come up with these keys to victory. I think we have to add one since we've come out here. One of the keys to victory is get some fly balls to left field because they might go out of the park today, Jimmy.
Absolutely. You know, Santa Maula has had a pretty good stretch over the last few years, and let's take a look at what they've done over the last 5. The last 3 state championships. And
they're on track right now. They're number 3 in the power rankings, and so they are in a position where they could get a 4th straight state championship. The senior class could be 4 for 4, and that's a remarkable feat. And the baseball team has a great tradition over here, and the softball team is catching up with them right now.
Well, and you know, these two teams have met once before this season. In fact, it was back on the 13th of March, and it was quite a game.
Yeah, it was a quick early lead for Santa Maula, and they got the 7-0 lead by the top of the 3rd, and then they kind of cruised to victory. EA got a couple on the board in the bottom of the inning, but then Santa Maula took it up to 9-2. EA got it up to 9-4, but couldn't get any closer than that. Braylee Decato, we're going to see her today. She was the winning pitcher. Mackenzie Creel got the loss, and you see Braylee Decato, she not only got the win, but she was 3 for 3, had 4 RBIs. Creel did a pretty good job, too. She's going to be the designated player here for East Ascension tonight.
Yeah, we'll see the sophomore in the circle tonight for East Ascension. And again, we take a look at our coach's notebook, and that's, you know, we have 2 spectacular coaches here today.
Yeah, you got over on the East Ascension side, the 2 coaches are meeting together with the umpires there at home plate. On the East Ascension side, you have Tony Ricca, and she is in her 2nd year, and she comes from John Curtis High School. You see her through the screen right there wearing the white shirt, talking to the umpires facing us. She comes from John Curtis, as I said, went to Northwestern State, and she started her career at Dutchtown coaching with Coach Nancy Insminger, and then she moved over to East Ascension, and you see the record right there, 35-22, 11-8 in district, and 2-1 in the playoffs. Now on the other side, you have maybe the most successful coach, or one of the most successful coaches in the history of Ascension Parish in any sport, and that is Amy Petrie. You see her right there, 227, 33-1. That's almost winning 9 out of 10 games. And she's 55-4 in district. and 24-3 in the playoffs, and she has 4 of those state championships, 19, 22, 23, and 24.
That's a pretty good resume across the board, and especially in the last 5 years.
I wish I had one like that.
No doubt about it. Well, let's take a look at our keys to victory now, and we'll start things off with the visiting team, the East Ascension Lady Spartans. They've got to throw strikes.
Yep.
You've got to have the sophomore throwing strikes, and they don't want to give in to the chaos. And when I say that, the speed of Santa Maria on the base path really causes a problem, and they can't give in to that. They've got to stay focused.
Yeah, and when you that's one of the keys that you have for Santa Maria right there, is that they gotta do their job and run the base pass right. And so if they can do that, then it's going to be trouble for East Ascension. They ran the base pass pretty well Tuesday night in our game against Prairieville.
They did not let off.
Yep.
They were up 10-0, and they were running the base pass like they were down 1 run.
Right.
For Santa Maria, you got to attack early in the count, and they want to create that chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be fun, and we are just about ready to get the starting lineups introduced, so we're going to throw it down to the public address announcer now.
Welcome to Clark Landry Field for today's district matchup, which is visiting Lady Spartans and your Lady Gators. For your Lady Spartans starting lineup, leading off number 43, Kaden Touye. Batting second, number 14, Maya Lanou. Batting third, number 10, Mackenzie Creel. Batting fourth, number 11, Emma Blanchard. Batting fifth, number 55, Avery Stevens. Batting sixth, number 2, Madison Stevens. Batting seventh, number 8, Savannah Baker. Batting eighth, number 23, Adeline Bradbury. Batting ninth, number 4, Zakiah Jackson. And flex player number 31, Hartley Berthelot, and the rest of your Lady Spartans. Your Lady Spartans are coached by head coach Tony Ricker and assistant coaches Lacey Luke and Kayla Prater. Now for your Lady Gators. Number 4, Maya Franklin. Number 7, Kai Gotro. Number 9, Paige Stevens. Number 11, Demi Jaro. Number 12, Lauren Allen. Number 13, Amari Long. Number 15, Madeline Stevens. Number 18, Katie Landry. Number 19, Devin Tanner. Number 21, Bentley Burke. Number 25, Kendall Landry. Number 20, Aubrey Smith. Number 29, Morgan Blackwell. Double 0, Kaylee Rockford. Number 34, Brady Baker. Number 35, Ava Bignair. And for your starting lineup, leading off, playing center field, number 37, Riley Moran. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 1, Bailey Ducote. Batting third, playing third base, number 10, Olivia Johnson. Batting fourth, starting behind the plate, number 8, Brooke Rabelais. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 6, Kinley Mesh. Batting sixth, designated player, number 24, Briley Decato. Batting seventh, playing right field, number 36, Hudson Bowler. Batting eighth, number 2, playing left field, Kinley Trish. Batting ninth, playing second base, number 3, Raleigh Causey. And flex player, number 30, Haley Hebert. Your Lady Gators are coached by head coach Amy Petrie. Assistant coaches Jay Brignac, Darrell Landry, Mark Mayer, Brooke Elisar, and George Bean. Please remove your hats and stand for their national anthem.
It is time to play ball. Before we get to our batting lineup, our batting order, let's take a look quickly at the district records in 5-5A.
And I just want to bring up one thing when you look at that. Santa Maria and East Ascension, you see Santa Maria 6-1 in district, East Ascension 6-3. What does that mean for tonight's game? If East Ascension wins tonight against Santa Maria, they would be tied for first because EA will be one game ahead in the win column, but Santa Maria will be one game ahead in the loss column. So it's a big matchup here tonight. And you see the rest of the district. Walker also up there could have a chance to maybe move into first place if Santa Maria would lose tonight, but we will see what happens. But let's look at the starting lineup now, if we can, for the visitors first. For East Ascension, number 43, Caden Touye at third. Maya Lanou, shortstop, batting second. Mackenzie Creel batting third, the designated player. First baseman Emma Blanchard bats fourth. And then you have the two Stevenses, Avery Stevens behind the plate, and Madison Stevens at second. And then the pitcher, Savannah Baker, will bat seventh. Adeline Bradbury in right. And then Zakiah Jackson will bat ninth, playing left field. And that batting order will face Braylee Decato for the Lady Gators.
Decato with a 4.18 ERA. She has 78 strikeouts to 31 walks. That's huge. And she's given up 52 runs and only 69 hits.
So you see Tony Ricca right there, as you see her resume right there in her second year as coach at East Ascension. And the first pitch is a strike to Caden Touye.
Actually, they called it a ball.
Okay, I thought they called it a strike.
There you go. That's all right. It's one ball, no strikes, and we are underway here. And so glad you've joined us for this big game in 5-5A. The orange jerseys always worn by Santa Maria, no matter just about what sport they play. They're always in that orange when they play East Ascension.
Yep. So the count is 1-1 right now. I think there may have been a fly ball there to left, and it's going to the gap.
And it will get to the gap. The ball will be thrown in. Good job that time very quickly for Kinley Trish to get the ball, throw it in, and hold her to a base hit. So that's a good start for the Lady Spartans.
And Caden Touye was 2 for 2 on Tuesday night in our game of the week against Prairieville. So has 3 consecutive base hits this week, and that one went to the gap, but it got there so quickly she couldn't advance to second because the throw back in came in pretty quickly.
Brings up number 14, Maya Lanou, the shortstop. She's batting 387, and this pitch fouled off down the first base line.
Now what you want to watch for right here is Touye on the base pass. We talked about Santa Maria running the bases. Right now, Caden Touye has 33 stolen bases on the year.
She had a couple, or maybe more than a couple, Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think they credited her with 3.
And she's off and running. This throwdown is not going to get there. It does get there, but it couldn't have a tough time for Brooke Rabelais to catch that one. Check that. Good throw for Rabelais down to Cody.
Yeah, she was not able to keep her grip on it, and that might have caused her to get in safe. So Dakota couldn't handle it, and it's a stolen base number 34 for Touye.
Brings up Mackenzie Creel. No, check that. Still a no.
Yes. Count 2-1. She was 3 for 4 Tuesday night in the win against Prairieville.
Everybody hit the ball against Prairieville. Going to third. She's 8. 2 more stolen bases to her credit.
And that throw was there in time, but the third baseman, Johnson, got there a little late and then was late applying the tag. Good shot on the replay right there. And you see she had the glove and the ball on the base, but the left hand got around to the other side, and she was in there safely.
3 and now count full at 3 balls, 2 strikes to the moon.
So you talked about the key of the game being the base pass for Santa Maria. Right now, the East Ascension showing that they can run as well.
Squaring the bunt, we presume she'll pull this back. In the circle, Decato, that one's high and outside, and that'll put 2 runners on. So she will go to first base on the walk, and it brings up Mackenzie Creel in the 3-hole. She's batting .465 only a junior.
And she was 1 for 2 in the win against Prairieville. And they are picking up right where they left off on Tuesday night, just very aggressive and relentless.
Rocket and fire, and that was a quick one.
And they concede second base to Lanoux. Don't even fake a throw to second.
Decato will get it up to 61 miles an hour. She's got a pretty good command of her fastball. But she can move it around, and this is going to be popped back into the baseball diamond. Good thing there's not a game going on over there.
Not yet. No, there's some practice going on out there, but I don't see anybody on the field right now. So the count even 1-1.
No outs yet here in the top of the first. Glad you've joined us on the Rev Game of the Week. This one's way high, a little off-speed pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Eventually, we're going to get to telling you who's out in the field for Santa Ma.
Right, we usually do that after the first out, but the first 2 have reached base for the Lady Spartans.
Another foul ball into the baseball diamond.
This is a really important out right here, potentially, for Santa Ma. You don't want to get 3 runners on base. You don't want to have to pick up the single and be down 2-0 without getting an out so far. So this is a big pitch for Decato right here.
She'll rock and fire. 3 straight foul balls.
These girls on the East Ascension team can just knock the cover off the ball. You have Caden Touye hitting over 500. You've got Mackenzie Creel batting 465. You got other 400 hitters. You got lots of 300 hitters on this team.
Big at bat. She puts it in play between short and third. It'll go to left field. 1 run will score. 2 runs score. And it'll be a double 2 RBIs for Mackenzie Creel. Tremendous job at the plate. That was a great at bat.
Yeah, they're picking up right where they left off. As you see that, just a shot in that 6 hole for a base hit, and East Ascension aggressive. They're sending the runner to third from second to past third into home, and they get that run as well. And on the throw to the plate, Creel gets into second very easily. And you're going to have a little conference in the circle right now. No coaches out there. This is just a players-only talk. Probably talking to Decato, saying, look, we started out a little slow right here. Let's settle it down. And that's what a smart veteran team does. They want to get that pitcher back in the right frame of mind.
The cleanup hitter will be the freshman Emma Blanchard, hitting 447 on the season. Still no out, top of the first. 2 runs have scored. This one swings by her. Big fastball for a strike for a Decato.
Blanchard was way late on that swing. She was 2 for 3. Every Lady Spartan got a base hit in the game against Prairieville Tuesday.
A little inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
That wind still blowing very hard to left field, 20-plus miles an hour. Nobody's really got one in the jet stream yet, but we're looking for that possibly today.
Again, a late swing, 2 strikes, 1 and 2.
So she's getting that fastball through right now, but this is what you're seeing right here. They're not letting any pitches get past them. They're trying to swing at everything right now because their bats are red hot.
Just misses. Evens the count at 2 and 2.
Hot day out here, too, 87 degrees at first pitch. Feels like May.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's the first out of the inning, and we will take a look at the defense for Santa Ma.
In left field, Kinley Trish. Center field, Riley Moran. Right field, Hudson Bowler. Infield, first base, Kinley Mesh. Second base, Riley Causey. Third base, Olivia Johnson. At short, Bailey Ducote. The pitcher, Braley Decato. And the catcher, Brooke Rabelais.
Avery Stevens now at the plate. She's the catcher for for East Ascension, batting .348. A junior.
Every one of these hitters, Jimmy, 300, 400. I believe they have one batter under 300 in the starting 9.
1-1.
And that's kind of what East Ascension's strength is. Their pitching has a high ERA, but their offense will keep them in the ball games. And they've won a lot of them this year.
That one inside. 2 balls and a strike.
That was a big strikeout right there, and
It really was.
a good comeback after the conference in the circle.
That fastball misses inside. Nope, called it a strike. They like to wait a second.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got to think about it.
I guess, man.
You don't want to get impulsive and call a bad pitch a strike.
That's popped up. Called off is the shortstop, and she makes the grab. Bailey Ducote. Bailey Ducote makes the catch. She called off Johnson at third base to make the grab, and we have 2 away.
Usually the shortstop has a better vantage point right there, and she called off Johnson. That was nearly a disaster because Johnson was ready to make the play, but a good job by Ducote.
Twin sister Madison Stevens.
She's going to do the same thing?
Yes, she will, and that'll do it for the top of the first. We head to the middle of 1. 2-0 the score on 2 hits. 2 hits.
And now the batting order for the Lady Gators of Santa Ma. Riley Moran, number 37, leads off, playing center field. Then you have Bailey Ducote, number 1, at short. Olivia Johnson bats third. She's the third baseman. Brooke Rabelais, number 8, is the catcher, batting cleanup. Then at first base, you have Kinley Mesh. She is the first baseman. Bailey Ducote, the pitcher, playing in the designated player spot, number 24, batting 6th. And then 7, 8, and 9 will be Hudson Bowler in right, Kinley Trish, number 2, in left, and Riley Causey, number 3, at second base. And they will face Savannah Baker, who had a shutout on Tuesday, as you take a look at Amy Petrie at the third base coach spot. She's going to head back in the dugout in just a second, but look at that record right there. Look at those state championships. That's just an incredible job done by her this year.
Running out of fingers.
Yep. She's going to have a handful, literally.
That's right.
If she can win one this year.
Savannah Baker, the sophomore, has a good fastball, a change-up curve. She'll spin one in there every once in a while for a screwball. And it brings up the left-handed hitter, Riley Moran. She is batting .348 on the season. And she'll step to the batter's box. The first batter for Santa Ma. That pitch is outside, ball 1.
And you see the infield for East Ascension playing in. They're expecting a little slap there from the left-handed hitter. And you saw this many years. They like to do that little slap with the leadoff hitter, and you drop one. Touye with the quick throw, and she's out.
Nice job. Well bunted, but Touye was on the march, and she scooped it, throws, and we have 1 down.
And the defensive starters for East Ascension in left, you got Zakiah Jackson in center, Hartley Berthelot. In right, Adeline Bradbury. First base, Emma Blanchard. Second base, Madison Stevens. Third base, Caden Touye. Shortstop, Maya Lanou. Pitching, Savannah Baker. And behind the plate is Avery Stevens.
Bailey Ducote now steps up, batting .486. She's got 52 hits on the season, and she's a junior playing shortstop. Made those last 2 outs of the top of the first. Again, 2-0 is our score. Big runs by East Ascension to start the ball game.
Still playing in, expecting that little slap right there. As you see, Touye, the sleeveless one.
Steps in, wants to slap it. Lets that third ball go by. 3-0 the count.
And she's got 16 stolen bases if she can get on. So that's where you're talking about that havoc on around the base pass if she can get on base.
She's only been walked 9 times and now 10 times. Only walked 10 times in the whole season. She will be put on first base.
And that's a 4-pitch walk. And that's something we didn't see from the pitcher, Savannah Baker, on Tuesday night. She had no walks in the 4-inning win against Prairieville. Now she has 48 walks on the season, so that was walk number 49.
Olivia Johnson now stepping up, batting an even .400. That's going to be called a strike right down the pipe. She has 9 home runs on the year. talking to Coach Petrie, they don't have as many home runs as they normally do, but they've been moving the ball around pretty well when needed. And she'll swing at a low pitch inside and foul it off.
You in those state championship years, in the heart of those years, you had A.J. Jackson, who was getting as many home runs as she was getting wins in the circle, and then you had Alex Franklin, who was hitting a ton of home runs as well. So you're losing a lot of power, but they still have some.
Again low, and that will hold the runner. Good job by the catcher, Avery Stevens, the junior. Block that ball up and get to her feet with the ball, ready to fire if needed. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. And this one will be fouled down the third base line. She's a little ahead of it on that little off-speed pitch.
Yeah, she can straighten that out. She can possibly get one up the middle to get a base hit right here, and that could possibly move Dakota with all her speed to third base. It's 2-0 right now, so this is not they're not in panic mode. They get a run or two here, and they'll be all right.
This is going to be a looping pop fly to shortstop taken by Lanou, and that will be out number 2.
So I've seen a lot of pop flies. That's the third pop out to the shortstop so far out of the first 5 outs of this ball game. So I think some of those girls are trying to get it in the air because of this wind to left field, but not like that.
Yeah, one thing you have to, when you see the wind like that, you kind of have to not get too anxious about trying to get it up like that. This pitch is a little high and outside, ball 1. This is Brooke Rabelais, the catcher, batting .409 on the year.
Yes, and she's the RBI leader for the Lady Gators with 42 on the season. And we know that because of her father, Chad Rabelais, who provides us with the stats here at Santa Maria.
Which we do appreciate. And we appreciate both schools always being so accommodating to us, whatever sport we're doing. It's always an easy thing for us to be at these two schools. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Rocking and firing is the sophomore Baker, and Rabelais will put that one out of play over the first base dugout.
So this is a very important situation here for the pitcher, Baker, because if she can get out of this first inning, that might build a little bit of confidence for East Ascension.
High, good catch again by Avery. 3 balls and a strike.
If you remember that last game that we talked about earlier, Jimmy, Santa Maria jumped out on top, and they were never able to recover from that. If they can get out of this first inning without giving up any runs, they're going to have the lead for the first time this season against Santa Maria.
Walk number 2 of the afternoon for Baker. And that will send Dakota to second. Rabelais at first, brings up Kinley Mesh, batting .376. She has 13 doubles and leads the team in doubles.
And we're going to get a courtesy runner for Rabelais. That's going to be number 13, Imari Long. So Amari Long comes in. She doesn't have any, or she has 5 stolen bases on the season. So she's going to be at first and Dakota at second.
Baker's just a little bit high.
Yeah, she's had some control problems that we didn't see. We were at Prairieville on Tuesday for the 15-0 victory for East Ascension over the Lady Hurricanes.
High and outside for Mesh. And it will be Coach Ricka coming to talk to her pitcher.
Yeah, she has those control issues sometimes. She didn't have it on Tuesday, but when you have more walks than strikeouts, whether you're playing softball or baseball, that's not a good sign. And she's up to 50 walks and 42 strikeouts. And so Coach Ricka knows that if she gives up another one, those bases are going to be loaded, and you don't want to give Santa Maria any confidence right here in the bottom of the first.
2 outs, though, so she can get out of this one. But she's got a 2-0 count to the batter, Mesh. Mesh, left-handed hitter. Steps into it. Ball 3, high and outside. 3 straight balls to Kinley.
Now, she only pitched 4 innings in the win on Tuesday. She did not throw a lot of pitches. She only faced 3 hitters over the minimum.
That pitch will find the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike.
We seem to find these umpires that have that delayed strike call, so we're wondering whether it's a strike or not for a second.
I definitely have learned my lesson. I am holding up. Called strike 2. And I'll tell you what, Mesh thought that was a ball, and she was about to head to first, but she also paused and waited.
Yeah, I think they know what to expect from this umpire at this point.
Full count, 2 outs, 2 runners on. And that'll be slapped to shortstop, and that'll do it. Good job for Lanou over to Toulier to end the inning. 1 runner left stranded on no hits. We'll be back back out after this. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some of the services we offer to help get you out of pain and back in action. Dry needling involves inserting thin, sterile needles into trigger points within muscles to release tension, reduce pain, and improve movement. It's highly effective for muscle tightness, chronic pain, and headaches. Joint manipulation. By applying a quick, controlled force to a joint, we can restore mobility, reduce stiffness, and relieve pain. Cupping therapy uses suction cups to increase blood flow, reduce muscle tension, and promote healing. With instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization, we apply targeted pressure to break down scar tissue and speed up recovery. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
As we start the second inning, the visiting East Ascension Lady Spartans up 2-0. They will start off with the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters. Savannah Baker, followed by Adeline Bradbury and Zakiah Jackson. Baker steps to the plate with an she's batting .333 on the year, so a third of the time she's pretty successful.
Yep, 1 for 3. I believe she's 10 for 30 on the season. That was an easy one for me to add up after her 2 for 2 performance on Tuesday.
Baker, only a sophomore, of course, the pitcher, at least for now. She belts this one foul.
And she was able to get a key third out right there, that ground ball over to shortstop, over to Lanou, and she tossed it over to Toulier for that third out. So they have their first lead of the season after a full inning against the Lady Gators.
Another one over the backstop, and telling you, they need to have just a ball shag on the baseball field because they are landing about right at the plate.
Yep, it doesn't look like there's going to be any games out there tonight over and on the baseball side, so that's a good thing. You don't, because it's a very compact kind of setup, and when you look at this whole complex out here, you got the baseball field by the highway, and then this out here in left field, and you can see the Gold Dome in the background.
That was a good-looking pitch.
I think he just missed
a
little bit.
Yes, he did.
Yep. Missed a little outside, I think. It's hard. We have that vantage point where we're in the press box, which is down the third baseline, so we can't see it right down the middle. But that was a strike.
And that'll be the second strikeout of the ball game for Savannah. Check that for Dakota Decato. Adeline Bradbury will step to the plate, batting .279. Only a sophomore. She'll bat from the right side. And she'll put that one up in the air, dropping back. Left fielder right at the wall is Trish, and she'll make the play.
And you did what I did, Jimmy. You were thinking that was going to be out the park because of this wind, and that wind is still whipping. But it had some carry to it, but not quite enough. And so up against the fence, a good job by Kinley Trish to make the catch. We also got to stand up because that's our blind spot here in the press box.
if Decato can go 1, 2, 3 in this one, she will have calmed down a great deal, and this one's going to be a little looper fly to left field again, and Trish will make the play, and that will do it. 1, 2, 3 goes the inning, and that was a good effort by Braley Decato.
And she's retired 6 in a row after giving up the first 3 base runners and 2 runs.
Division I power rankings, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a look at the Division I non-select softball power rankings, and Santa Ma is right back where they usually are. They are at number 3. They are on top of the district right now, trying to hang on and stay all alone in first. Walker's at number 5, Dutchtown's at number 6, Live Oak at number 7, East Ascension at number 10. So exactly half of the top 10 in non-select comes from District 5A, the best non-select district for softball in the state of Louisiana.
Santa Ma will start with their 6, 7, and 8 hole hitters. It'll be Braley Decato, followed by Hudson Bowler and Kinley Trish. Trish just caught those last 2 fly balls in left field. But Braley Decato, the pitcher, she's batting .283 on the year, I believe. And she'll step into the batter's box. Bottom of the second inning, just about to get underway here. Still a 2-0 ball game. The visiting East Ascension Lady Spartans leading, and that was a big swing, but couldn't catch up to it.
I got a feeling that this game will not end 2-0. Both of these teams have a lot of runs in them. I'm expecting both teams to probably get over 5 or 6 runs here today. So hopefully I'm not jinxing that.
Well, right now the teams are hitting the ball fairly well. They're just hitting it right to people. And we talked about that the other day. You know, baseball is a funny game, or softball, because you can be hitting the ball pretty well, and if you're hitting it right at somebody or where they can make a play, it's hard to get past some of these great defenders.
Right.
That changeup will be finding the mark.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you look at East Ascension on Tuesday, they had about 15 hits, and about 4 or 5 of them didn't even leave the infield.
That's
So sometimes you get that situation where you're hitting the ball right exactly where you need to.
Fouled into the screen.
Some of the hardest hit balls were outs on Tuesday night, and you saw a fly ball all the way to the wall in the top of the second that just was a big, loud out.
Yep. And that one will be driven but foul, and that one, she got all of that one.
Yeah, if she can straighten that out, that's going out the yard for sure.
She got all of that one down the left field line, but it was pulled. That was the most solid hit we've seen so far today for sure.
Yeah, the 8 and 9 hitters for East Ascension got the ball airborne, but just got under it a little bit.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Braley Decato, batting in the 6-hole spot, and she's the pitcher for the game so far for Santa Ma. Rocket and fire, and here's Baker, the sophomore, and that'll run the count full.
She's in danger of giving up her 3rd walk so far in 1 inning plus.
No strikeouts yet, but the defenders behind her have been pretty good. And this one will be ball 4 high, and that will put Decato on the base path at first base.
And this is what you see sometimes from Baker, as number 0-0 is going to come in to run for the Lady Gators. So we'll get a name for you right there in just a minute, although we don't have a 0-0, so we'll try to find out.
Hudson Bowler now steps up with a .270 batting average. She's playing right field, and she's only a freshman. The only freshman in the starting lineup tonight for Santa Ma. Runner on at first base after the walk. This pitch low and inside. Ball 1.
And when you're playing for Santa Ma and you're a freshman and you can start, you know that you're a good player that's going to have a bright future for sure, because it's hard to crack that lineup no matter what grade you're in.
That's a good point. High ball Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Bowler. No outs yet, and we're in the bottom of the second inning. We had some fireworks to start the ball game for East Ascension, but since then things have calmed down a bit. This pitch, again, called strike. Man, I got to stop anticipating. I thought that was at her eyeballs, and obviously I don't have the angle that the umpire does. 2 balls and a strike. Fouled back into the screen. Evens the count of 2 and 2.
So I'd like to thank the announcers here for Santa Monica helping us out. Kaylee Rockefort, she wears number 27 usually, but she is at first base. She's wearing 0-0 today. Of course, they wear these jerseys once or twice a year for EA, so they just had to get a jersey for her.
Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is a big pitch for the sophomore.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a 4th walk on the day and have runners on first and second with nobody out.
Baker rocks, fires, delivers ball 4, and that will put Bowler at first base, moving Rockefort over to second base. And we've got another walk, unfortunately, for the sophomore pitcher, Savannah Baker.
And, Jimmy, I wonder how long they're going to go with Savannah Baker if she has control issues. You have a couple of pitchers that can pitch for sure. Mackenzie Creel, the most likely option. She's in the designated player spot today. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went to her a little early.
Trying to bunt this one and bunt him around, and she'll foul it back. This is Kinley Trish, the left fielder, batting .270 on the year. I was looking to see if they were warming anybody up, and I don't. Quite frankly, I don't see the.
There's not a lot of room here to get people ready.
Again, want to thank our announcers up here. They just told us the bullpen's on the other side, so it's hard to see from this angle. In fact, almost impossible to see from this angle. My X-ray vision, my X-ray glasses are left at home.
Yeah, and I'm a little further to the right, so I see even less.
0-1 the count.
There's a strike, that late call.
0-2. Well, so far the Lady Gators have not been overly aggressive on the base path. Now, they haven't had a whole lot of runners, but with 0 outs, with no outs here, and this one will be just foul down the third base line. Boy, Toulier was going to have to get a better jump on that one if it stayed fair, because maybe she saw that it was going foul, but still, it was a shot.
Now, on that first pitch, it looked like she may have been dropping a bunt to try to move the runners over. But at this point with 2 strikes, it's probably not an option.
0-2 the count to Kinley Trish. This one swing and a miss. Strike 3. She goes down. The first strikeout of the evening for Savannah Baker, and that's a big one.
So that's her first strikeout compared to the 4 walks. And now you get the number 9 hitter coming up. That's Causey, and you might think, well, that's a break, right? Well, look at her batting average there, Jimmy, 389.
And she bats from the left side, so that really adds another wrinkle to this. 1 out, 2 runners on. She wants to slap it. She'll walk out and let it go by. And it's a strike.
Infield playing in. Toulier is almost even with the pitcher right there.
She's 3/4 of the way to home. Trying to lay down the bunt, foul. Boy, she is fast.
Yes. If she makes contact, she's halfway there.
Riley Causey can get on the horse and get down the base path.
And most left-handed hitters in softball have that speed because they try to take advantage of that slap to third base.
We didn't see the slap much at all, if at all, on Tuesday.
Not really.
0-2 the count. This pitch Called strike 3.
Back-to-back strikeouts.
All of a sudden, Baker's settling in. 2 outs. We go back to the top of the order with Riley Moran. Moran grounded out to start the ball game. Also a left-handed hitter.
Now, she's that leadoff hitter, and she's one of those slap hitters as well. But if she can make contact and get something past the outfielders who are playing very shallow, that could go for extra bases, maybe score 2.
Boy, all of a sudden, Baker's got command of her pitches.
Right. She has done a 180 over the last 7 or 8 pitches.
0-1 the count here to Riley Moran. And this one will be popped right over our heads.
That's 8 straight strikes after 2 walks, Jimmy.
That is settling down. You got to be that goldfish. You got to forget him. You got to not remember what happened 3 seconds before.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That's it. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. That will just miss outside, and that's the first ball in a while.
Yep, it was a little high. Good job by Moran taking that one right there. Base hit will definitely score 1 if she can get it past the infield. Outfield playing very short.
Outside. 2-2.
It looked like the runner at second, Rockefort, was thinking about going, but Stevens was able to keep a grip on it. She thought it might be able to get away, but it did not.
She's a good defensive catcher back there as a junior. And this one will be slapped, but it'll be slapped foul down the third base line. She's also got some speed, just like you mentioned, those lefties. They can move. They can motor.
In a situation like this, though, the one disadvantage you have is that if you do that little slap to third, and if Touye gets it, all she's got to do is step on the bag. And she doesn't have to worry about the base runner.
Touye's no slap at third base, that's for sure. Ball 3. And that runs the count full. So after 2 straight strikeouts, she runs the count full here to Moran.
Just when I said 8 straight strikes, here come the balls.
Fouled into the screen.
And that's what she's going to do. She's going to fight off every close pitch and wait for a ball to miss and try to take a base right there. That's another option that she has.
Hitting in softball is such an interesting thing to watch.
Yep.
And she'll try to slap it again. Ball 4 and walks the bases loaded. So 2 straight strikeouts and 3 walks, and that's where we are with bases loaded.
Right. This inning, when you look at the batters, it goes walk, walk, strikeout, walk. And you can't give up another walk or else the lead is going to be cut to 2-1, and you got a 486 hitter coming to the plate.
Juliet talks to her pitcher. This is Dakota. She walked in the first inning. Also, so 3 straight lefties. Outside, ball 1.
Now, she leads in most of the non-power offensive categories. She leads in average, at-bats, runs, hits, and singles.
Called strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. East Ascension leads 2-0 here.
Touye still playing a little bit in at third. Can't do anything with that pitch, though.
Nope, outside and high.
If they do the slap to Touye, the play is probably going to be to home plate for the third out.
I would think so, too. Baker rocks and fires, and that is going to be called strike 2, evening the count. That one looked like a pretty pitch. Umpire agreed with me.
Well, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But you say it a little faster.
Right. Struck her out looking. And that will do it. They strand 3 on no hits. No run score. We head to the top of the third inning. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the REV Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some simple techniques that you can do at home to increase mobility and improve posture. The seated thoracic extension using a foam roller will improve your posture. Support your neck with your hands and keep your feet flat on the ground. Lean back over the foam roller while keeping your lower back neutral. Standing wand flexion is easy and very effective. Using a shoulder width grip, keep your arms straight and slowly raise the wand overhead as far as comfortable. For the pectoralis stretch, stand near a doorway and place your forearms against the wall at a 90-degree angle. Step forward slightly till you feel a slight pull in your chest to feel a stretch. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
We're back to the top of the order for the Lady Spartans. It'll be Touye, Lanou, and Creel to lead things off. Still in the circle is Decato, and she's settled down since giving up those 2 runs in the first.
Right. Her book right now is single, walk, double, 2 RBIs, and then 6 straight outs. But Touye is the leading hitter on both sides, hitting at 508. She is 1 for 1, so she's actually probably about 510 to 515 at this point. So that's the hardest out probably on the field.
No doubt about it. Here we go, starting the third. Riser a little high.
So, Jimmy, I like to give stats and trends sometimes, and one of the things I've noticed so far on the Santa Maria side, they have no hits on, and after this pitch, as you see the ball right there, no hits so far, but they've stranded 5 base runners. So that you can't do that.
That's correct.
And expect to win.
And that is definitely not their usual MO. But that was a nice off-speed pitch. It finds the mark. She's been zinging in some fastballs, and they've been going a little high on her. That time she just took a little off of it.
Yep. I think she got a little fooled right there.
Yep. 2 balls and a strike to the first batter of the inning.
This is the second game in her 6th at-bat since we've been covering East Ascension this week. She is still not made an out. And that's 6 in a row that she's reached base.
And she walks that time, and she is a prolific walker this season.
Absolutely. When you look at the let's see if I have her walk statistics. That is walk number 36, I believe. If I added the walks that she had on Tuesday, it's 36. If I didn't, it's 38. Was not going right there. Usually she goes on the first pitch. She doesn't hesitate.
Brings up Maya Lanou, the shortstop. Walked and scored in the first inning. Now she's off and running. Got an opportunity, and she safe slid right under the tag. The throw was a little high from Rabelais, but that was a pretty good throw.
I think so. I want to see this on the replay because it looked like the tag came in. Almost overslid the bag, but yeah, I think that she did get in just under the tag. Now, I can't see if she got past the base and got off the base, but the umpire says no way.
2 balls, no strikes to the batter Lanou, and that one will skip to Rabelais, and she'll make the catch and walk her back.
You saw that during the live action there. You had Touye slipped as she took her lead off a second. If Rabelais would have been paying attention, might have been able to get her.
That pitch will find the strike zone. 3 balls in the strike. I didn't see her slip. I was looking at the hot dog vendor and missed it. That will be a bunt down the line. It'll be Decato making the play for the out, but she does her job, sacrifice bunt to get Touye to third.
So that's a 1-4 sacrifice. Touye gets the third. Now that stolen base that she had was number 36 on the season.
Brings up Mackenzie Creel, 465, and she will pop this one up. shallow center field, and Moran will make the catch. But she will tag Will Touye, and she will score to make it 3-0.
Yeah, it's a shallow fly ball, but you know that Touye has speed and she's fearless. And so she was going no matter what. And the throw a little bit up, a little bit high, had no chance. And that's 3 RBIs on the day for Creel as they go up 3-0.
Emma Blanchard, the only freshman in the lineup for Coach Tony Ricca today. Take this first one as a ball. So 2 outs now on the top of the third.
So Creel has 3 RBIs. She's 1 away from 50 on the season.
Wow.
Great season so far.
This might, doesn't get out of play right into the first base dugout. Thought it might hang on, but not a lot of room between the base path and the dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Wind still whipping right to left. Two balls and a strike. Rabelais tried to frame that one up a little bit when she caught it, but it was a little too inside. Strike 2 as she swings at that one.
Other than Touye, she's the only person that's reached base since the third hitter in the first inning, but she was able to score.
Call strike 3, and everybody knew it but the batter, I think.
Yeah, and us. I wasn't sure.
I wasn't either. I wasn't moving. We head to the middle of the third inning. That is the third strikeout for Decato. And we will take a look at the remaining District 5 5A games. We've got a few left.
Yeah, and we're going to start with East Ascension this inning and look at Santa Maria in the fourth. There's only 2 games left now. Santa Maria only has 4, but you remember we were talking about this earlier. Santa Maria has played 2 fewer district games than East Ascension. Now, East Ascension is facing 2 of the tough ones, though. You got Walker at the end of the season at home, and that's going to possibly be a first-place matchup, depending on what goes on here today. Dutchtown, they are only 3-3 in district, but they are a very strong team, and they are high in the power rankings to number 6. So neither one of those games is going to be a cakewalk for East Ascension. If they can get a win, though, right here and build some confidence, who knows? They could put themselves in a position to possibly compete for a district championship if they can win this game here today.
And they have been in control for the most part as they have scored 3 runs here in two and a half innings. So the Lady Gators will start with the 4, 5, and 6 hole hitters. Brooke Rabelais will start things off, followed by Kinley Mesh and Decato.
When we played earlier, these 2 teams, Santa Maria and East Ascension, you got the big inning about this time, and that's what Santa Maria can do. And we saw that when we had the game against Dutchtown earlier this season, Jimmy.
Yeah.
They have some innings where they go 1, 2, 3, and then they all of a sudden they are up for 5 runs. And that's so that's what you got to be careful for right here, the big inning.
They come in bunches for the Lady Gators sometimes.
Mike Moeller calls it the crooked numbers.
This one's a swing and a miss, strike 1. Rabelais walked in the first and was stranded. Evens the count at 1-1. Again, the sophomore Savannah Baker started off a little shaky, but she has come back strong, especially in the bottom of the second inning. That one was a little short.
Yeah, and Touye is going to go to her and say, it's all right, shake that off.
Rocks and fires. That one looked good, and it is a strike. 2-2. Not wasting any time. She is not.
No.
wasting a lot of time. She gets the ball back and she's ready to go. Runs the count full, though.
She likes to pitch like she's got a place to be at 7.
And she walks another.
Remember Tuesday I was talking about that? Walks have been her issue. That is walk number 6 in 2+ innings.
And you can't keep putting them on base. Eventually they're going to make you pay for that.
Yes. And I don't believe that they have a runner in at this point for her. We will see.
So I made a bit of a mistake.
Yes.
I made a mistake. Okay, so
Yeah.
that was actually Olivia Johnson.
Yes, I was wondering because when I saw her turn around and have the 10, I was like, wait.
Yep. So that was Johnson who just walked.
Yes.
This is Brooke Rabelais now.
Yes, if she reached base, they would definitely be running for her.
Put my KO from the second inning in the wrong spot. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Brooke Rabelais, batting .409. Walked her first trip. Fouled into the screen.
Good recovery right here by Baker, getting some strikes over and getting ahead in the count.
Still no outs here in the bottom of the third. Foul. Tell you, both of these teams do a good job of fighting off close pitches.
Yes. Santa Maria has been doing that for years.
That one's high.
They have really good discipline at the plate. But you had 3 strikeouts in the second inning.
Yeah.
So Baker has done a good job.
That one will be looping fly ball to shallow center. Making the play is Zakiah Jackson. Check that. Zakiah's in
Yes, that's
left
Bertha
field.
Lot.
That's Bertha Lot.
Yes.
Jeez, Willikers, man.
It's a big out right there. Now you got the cleanup hitter Rabelais to fly out, an easy fly out. Now you got the number 5 hitter Mesh. She's no cakewalk though, as you see a healthy cut right there. She's hitting 376, Jimmy. She had the fielder's choice to end the first inning on the ground ball to short that went to third.
Left-handed hitter, 0-1 the count. That one will be slapped into left field off the glove of Jackson. Let's see if they can get somebody to score. She's going to hold up at third base. Will Olivia Johnson, but that was a big double for Kinley Mesh.
And that's a tough mistake. That ball, I'm going to say that's a clean base hit. Maybe ran in a little bit and misplayed it, but that was a hard shot that made it to the wall. I'm going to call that a double, as now you get a it's not a courtesy runner. They just getting the gloves off for Mesh, and now you got 2 runners in scoring position, and this is what Santa Maria does. They get those base runners, and now you got a chance to cut this lead to 1 with a base hit.
It was a hard hit by Mesh.
That's for sure.
Brayley Decato at the plate. She walked and was stranded at third in the second.
She has 21 RBIs in the season, so she's had some clutch hits.
Well, if she could get 1 or 2 in here, that would definitely take a little of the strain off. Fouls it back into the screen.
But I don't know. With Baker, it seems like she likes to pitch with pressure here today, because she gets those base runners on base and then she gets out of it without giving up any runs. 7 base runners so far. So far, no runs for the Lady Gators, though.
And only 1 hit, right?
Yep.
That was
that
just a minute ago.
That double to the left was the only hit of this game for Sanoma.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Braley Decato, the pitcher.
6 walks and a double.
And no runs scored. That's amazing. Rocks, fires, delivers high and outside. 2-2.
Don't want to walk this hitter. Although you do have 7, 8, 9. And I'll talk about that after this pitch.
Fly ball to right field. Went back and now it'll drop for a base hit. 1 run will score, and they'll hold the runner at third base. So you got runners at the corners and an RBI single for Decato.
And that's a fly ball that just got killed by the wind. As you see, it was a well-hit ball, but the wind is blowing out to right field. So she was hitting it into the teeth of that wind, and it just died out there. And then you get the 1 RBI, and with runners now at first and third, you got the tying run at first.
Hudson Bowler will come to the plate. And you're also fighting the sun out in right field. That sun is directly behind us and shining right into the eyes of Bradbury.
Good point, absolutely. Hard to judge those fly balls when the wind is blowing the way it does. And this is that situation that I talked about. 1 run turns into a crooked number very quickly with Sanoma.
This pitch outside. I'm a little surprised that they're not sending her to second base and just taking it.
Yeah, you wonder about that because they would likely not throw.
Right, I wouldn't think they would. There she goes, and this is going to be a hitter, and it will be fly out to sacrifice to Berthelot. And that will score the run, cut the lead to 1 run, 3-2.
Good job by Bowler. That's all you need to do is get that second run in. This is not the 6th or 7th inning. Just get it close and let the rest of the bats do the work for the rest of this game. So what turned into a 3-run game is now a 1-run game, and it's very manageable at this point.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Trish now steps to the plate, the left fielder. Pitch outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Looks like Decato at first has been replaced by Rockefort, the runner again.
She's quick.
Yes, she is.
Foul ball. 2-1. Two outs here in the bottom of the third. Let's see what Trish can do. Trish walked her first trip to the plate. Back in the second. Rocking and firing a little high. Fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike now to the batter.
You got Causey on deck, the 9 hitter. Don't want to give up walk number 7.
How to run the count full. I misspoke a minute ago. Trish struck out her first trip to the plate. She's got a full count here. Inside, ball 4. She will walk this time, and that makes it 7.
I think that Coach Ricca is going to try to get her at least out of this inning.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have a possible substitution. I see number 12 now. We're going to have to see who that is because
we got 2 number 12s.
Up to bat, number 12, Lauren Allen.
Lauren Allen will come in to bat for Kylie Causey.
So, yes, Lauren Allen, number 12. Yeah, she is the senior. There's 2 number 12s.
Yep. Call strike. Two outs, 2 runners on. 0-1 the count.
So much traffic today for the Lady Gators on the base paths.
But yet not a lot of chaos.
Nope.
Swing and a miss. Which is one of the things, and Coach Petrie talked about it several times. Create that chaos. Make them make the plays. So far, it's been pretty...
Right. One of the issues is a lot of this has happened with 2 outs. You're
Fine
limited.
point, but she put that one back, and it will be caught at the wall, and that will do it. But a good inning that time for the Lady Gators as they score 2, strand 2 on one hit. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you simple exercises to improve shoulder strength and thoracic mobility for all athletes. Resisted external rotation will strengthen your rotator cuff. Stand tall with your arms straight out and the elbow bent at 90 degrees. Keeping your elbow in place, rotate your arm outward against the resistance. For internal rotation, set up the same 90-90 arm position, but with the resistance anchored on the same side. Rotate your arm inward, bringing your hand towards the ground while keeping your elbow fixed. This is called open books and half kneeling. The resistance band is held forward with both hands. Rotate your upper body open to the side, pulling the band across while keeping your lower body stable. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
Welcome back as we start the 4th inning. It is 3-2, the visiting Lady Spartans leading the Lady Gators. But that was a good inning for the Lady Gators to build some momentum and get back into this game.
Right. They have them right where they want them. They have a 1-run deficit and just got to chip away right now and wait and maybe hope for that big inning or just get one right here as you got Stevens, and Baker coming to the plate.
Avery Stevens up right at this moment. And it is still Decato in the circle. 1 ball and strike to our first batter here in the 4th.
Stevens popped to short. Her first at bat. So did her sister Madison.
That's right. It was twin leading the twin. This will be another pop-up, but it goes out of play over the third base dugout.
Is that what you call a twin killing right there?
Hey, I think so. At least that's what...
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You got it.
I'll see myself out.
I think our... nice use of the lingo. That's a line drive right to Kinley Trish. And there's one gone.
That was a well-hit ball. For sure, but that just went straight to Trish. Didn't have very far to move at all as we look on the replay. Line drive, steps in about 3 steps and makes the play.
Madison now, her twin sister up, right-handed batter, of course, and she will foul off the first pitch.
Would be unusual if they're sisters and one hits from the right and one hits from the left, that's for sure.
I tried to stop myself from saying it, but it was too late.
Oh, no.
It was too late. I'd already committed.
But the point is, though, like when you see a lot of softball players will hit from that left side because it makes it a lot easier to reach base, especially if you can slap a couple like we've seen.
Boy, that was a hard fastball. It was a little high, but we could hear the pop from here in the catcher's mitt. 2 balls and a strike now to the second batter of the 4th inning.
She uses her speed pretty well out there.
Foul off again, staying alive.
We've seen it. If you can fool Touye that we saw earlier with some of these change of speeds, then she can, and then come back with the heat. That's a good arsenal to have.
She uses her legs very well, does Decato. She's got a lot of power in that lower body.
Ooh, I think they wanted that one.
I was waiting. Full count to the batter, Madison Stevens, the second baseman. And this one will be popped up. Shallow center field. She can't catch it. I think the sun might have got into her eyes just a little bit as the shortstop drifted back, and Ducote couldn't find it.
That's an error, and I'm going to credit that to the wind.
Good point.
Because I think she was able to find it at the last second, but I think she was waiting for it to come back to her the way the wind was blowing, and it never came back to her, which is kind of odd the way the wind is blowing. E6.
Yes, sir, and that will bring up Savannah Baker, the pitcher. Struck out her first time at the plate, her second trip now. 1 out, 1 runner on the error by the shortstop.
Every time I look up, the wind is blowing even harder. That flag is about to fly off the flagpole. I would be shocked if there wasn't at least one ball that makes it out the park here today. I've been wrong plenty of times, though.
Well, I thought that last one that was hit deep might have had a chance, but it was caught at the wall. 3 straight balls to Baker.
I was telling you, we covered a game a couple of years ago when John Curtis came out here, and the wind was blowing like that to right field, and a pop-up to short right went out the park.
Wow. Once it gets up there, it's going to be hard not to find a mark, but that was a strike. Good job for Decato to rein it back in a little bit. She really thought she was going to be in a 2-out situation. To Baker. Strike 2. Runs it to full.
Good recovery by Decato. Coming back with 2 strikes. Baker looking all the way, trying to get that free bag.
This one will be driven to left field. It's got a chance. It's back. It is gone. Oh, the state championship sign.
I told you it was coming.
2-run dinger by Savannah Baker.
Helping her cause. 2 unearned runs, or the error is going to be an unearned run from that error from the shortstop for sure.
5-2 now to score as the Lady Spartans try to keep pouring it on here.
Sometimes you get lucky. And we're going to have a pitching change as we see number 21, I believe, Brentley Burke might be coming into this game. That's who it is. So that's going to do it for Decato for now. That was a no doubt about it. I don't think that was wind aided right there. That would have gone out with no wind at all.
It was over to the state championship sign. I don't know if you can see it, but
I could kind of sort of see it. I didn't even have to look up for that one.
Nope, I agree with you. So Brentley Bork will check into the game as pitcher. She has a 3.89 ERA. She has 28 strikeouts on 14 walks, and that's what Mike Moeller likes to talk about, that 2-to-1 ratio, and that's exactly where she is. She has pitched in 27 innings and has given up 5 home runs.
You have a lot of depth on this pitching staff. You have Of course, Decato, who kind of leads the way with the 65 innings pitched. Brentley Burke is actually the 4th leading pitcher in terms of innings pitched. You also have Kendall Landry and Haley Hebert, who are going to also be available. But the thing about Burke is that she leads the team in earned run average, and that's always important for you to have. So she's only made 2 starts on the season, so she's used to coming into tight situations. And she's coming in with a 5-2 deficit.
Adeline Bradbury now steps to the plate. This pitch a little high.
And, Jimmy, that's a great response by East Ascension because they gave up those 2 runs.
Yep.
Got them right back.
Yep. On one swing of the bat. That was a nice line drive to left field. They're going to wave her around to 2, and she will be safe for the double. All of a sudden, the East Ascension Spartans are coming alive again.
Yeah, they're picking up right where they left off on Tuesday in their game against Prairieville as they are hitting the ball really well this inning. You had the error where you had the first base runner on the drop pop fly by the shortstop, but then you have a mammoth home run by Baker and then a solid double by Bradbury. And this girl right here, Jackson, she hit one out the park Tuesday against Prairieville, not wind aided.
No, that was definitely not. But that one was a sneaky one to me because it just kind of kept going and going and going and snuck over the wall.
That was Savannah Baker's 2nd home run of the season. She did not have a lot of at-bats. She has primarily been a pitcher, but she's picked up the at-bats, and I can see why now.
Called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to the batter. Only 1 out here. 2 runs have scored on that 2-run dinger by Baker, and then you've got Bradbury at second base on the double. Swing and a miss to even the count for Jackson.
Jackson's home run, what was most impressive about it was to right center field, opposite field. So she's got opposite field power.
She's got an opportunity to make a play here as a catcher, and she does. Good job for Brooke Rabelais to spot the ball, find it. It was behind the plate, makes the grab in foul territory, and we have 2 away.
And that's a key out right there by Burke because she gave up a solid double early on in the count to her first hitter on the 2nd pitch. And that might get you a little rattled, but she came right back and got the pop-up for the 2nd out.
Well, let's see what she can do against Touye. Touye's been on base both times, but she's been to the plate. She scored twice. 2 outs. First pitch is high. Ball 1.
So we talked about this earlier. She has reached base 6 straight times this week on the Rev Game of the Week. Are they giving her the bag? Yep. Intentional walk. So there's 7.
All right.
I know that's frustrating for her because she's a 500 hitter, but you got to walk the 500 hitter with the bag open right there. That's the only play you really got.
Agreed. And I'm glad they don't make you pitch out anymore.
Exactly. That's just time-consuming,
Yeah.
and it could be it could turn into a disaster if you miss the
You're not kidding.
catcher.
Lanu now steps to the plate.
Having trouble finding the strike zone now.
That one's right down the pipe. Evens it up. 2 balls, 1 strike, actually. Thought there were 2 balls, but didn't see the umpire make the motion here. Fouls it back into the screen. Lanu trying to keep this inning alive with 2 runners on and 2 outs.
You give up the walk to the 508 hitter, but you come in right back with somebody hitting in the high 300s. So there's no comfort anywhere in this lineup. Lanu hitting 387.
No rest for the weary.
Yes.
2s across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of 4. This one's a little inside. Has to dance her out of the batter's box. Full count.
Important pitch right here because Creel, the RBI leader who has the first 3 RBIs, is on deck.
Ooh, she stays alive, but not by much. Just caught a piece of it.
Had a good cut, she was underneath that a little bit. Looked like she may have been going to right field with that.
Yep. Dipped the shoulder, tried to knock it to the opposite field, and you can see the right fielder working hard against the sun. That's Bowler. Call, ball 4.
She waited a second. It looked high, but you want to wait just to not be embarrassed and not to show up the umpire. So now the bases are loaded, and the RBI leader on this team trying to get to 50 RBIs. If you get a base hit, you can get over that.
Bradbury's at third, Toulier's at second, Lanoux now down at first base on the walk. Brings up Mackenzie Creel. Swing and a miss. High fastball. She swung around the shoulders. Misses it a little bit.
They're important at bats in a ball game. I'm going to tell you this is one right here because if she can make contact and get this game to 7-2, it could be a problem for Santa Maria. But if they can get her out, that could be a confidence builder.
Oh, she popped this one. Drifting back as a center fielder, and she will make the grab. Moran makes the grab in deep center field, and that was close to being trouble.
Oh,
but
yes.
They got out of the inning. We head to the middle of the 4th inning. And it's time to take a look at the remaining district games for Santa Maria, the Lady Gators.
And we talked about East Ascension. They have 2 district games yet to play. Santa Maria's got 4 games left there. You've had some rainouts here and there because the weather has been bad, especially on the weekends here in Ascension Parish. But coming up on Saturday, they have Live Oak. Hopefully you'll be able to play that because there's supposed to be even more rain this weekend. Then on Tuesday, they get Prairieville. On the 10th, they get a road game against Denham Springs, and then you get Dutchtown on our REV game of the week on Monday the 14th. So you got 2 games that you should be able to win, and then you got 2 games that are going to be a little bit tougher. And we talked about this. If East Ascension wins this game, Jimmy, they'd be tied for the lead. East Ascension would have the lead in the win column, but Santa Maria would have the lead in the loss column. You got to get those 2 wins against Live Oak and Dutchtown, and if you can do that, you might be able to get your way back to a district title, even if you lose here today.
Baker's back in the circle, and you've got the leadoff hitter, Riley Moran, followed by Bailey Ducote and Olivia Johnson to start things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
They're still going with Savannah Baker. She has had a lot of traffic. I'm going to use that word because Mike told me to use that word. Don't want to say base runners. Don't want to have to say problems. We'll see if she can get a clean inning right here. Infield playing in for that slap.
She grounded out and walked her first 2 trips. High and outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
She walked in the second. Was out in the first.
Such a different move to walk up like that. You just don't see it, obviously, in baseball. Very effective if you do it well. 3-0. Baker's got a rock and fire, and she does. This one is going to be called strike 1. So 3 balls and a strike to the leadoff hitter.
She has walked 7 batters so far, and she's walked at least 1 in every inning.
And she will walk the leadoff batter on right here. Brings up Ducote.
They just verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's at least 6 walks, yes.
I've got 7.
Yeah, I do have 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Laying down the bunt. Down the line, rolls foul.
Smart play by Toulier.
I got to wonder about the turf on the infield as opposed to dirt. Obviously, there's no imperfections.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that it cushions the ball a little bit more
than
the dirt would.
I think it kind of I kind of think the opposite. The dirt might kind of kill it a little bit to me, but I can see both points. To me, it seems like when you play on turf, it kind of rolls a little bit more. But we'll have to see. I think it could go either way.
After the game, we'll do
let's do
we'll do a stem roll.
Mm-hmm.
We'll, that one foul down the left field line. A little stimp meter on that one. See how we do.
I think it just depends on how it's done.
Ducote behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Baker trying to make something happen. A slapper to Touye. Touye to second base for the 1 out. Couldn't turn the double play, but it was a good play by Touye to whip it to second base.
And she didn't even think twice about it. She didn't even check the speed of the runner where she was at. Look, she gets it, and has her head turned towards second. First base was not even an option.
So 5-4 for the out, and that's the first out of the inning. Brings up Olivia Johnson. Johnson popped out, walked, and scored a run.
Big, important out right there.
Lady Spartans leading by 3 here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Keep the runners out of scoring position. That's what Touye did on the 3rd of second.
Trying to frame it up and a little bit high, it looked like that time. Maybe in a little tiny bit outside. Ball 1. Call strike. So she's starting to get ahead of the count as Baker. Doing a good job there.
She seems to be very streaky.
Mm-hmm.
It's either all balls or all strikes.
That one's high. Even to the 2. Good crowd on hand on this warm spring day in early April.
You can see behind the plate there, always a big crowd for Santa Monica, but you see some blue over there to your left.
Yep.
You know what that means.
Ball 3.
So close.
Full count.
I think the East Ascension infield wanted that, and I think that's what Touye just told her. He said, I think that was a strike.
Yeah.
It's a close pitch.
Full count. She'll check her wristband as she gets the pitch from the coaching staff in the dugout, and this one will be a fly ball to right center field. Running over to her left to make the grab is Berthelot from her center fielder spot. We've got 2 down.
Good recovery by Baker. You lead off with the walk, and then you get 2 straight outs and no runners in scoring position. So you have a little room to breathe right here, at least for one batter, if you can get her out.
Brooke Rabelais now.
And that's a tough out to get.
Walked and flew out. Drives it. Well, I won't say drives it, but popped it back high. Onto the diamond behind us. As soon as she gets that pitch, Baker's ready to fire.
You talk about the crowd. This is a big game for East Ascension because it has been a long time since they've beaten Santa Monica. And this might be their best chance they've had in for many, many years.
2-1 now the count to the batter, Rabelais. Wind still blowing out from into left field. Just basically right across the diamond. Way high. Good job by Stevens to go up high and catch that one.
You know, we're talking about how long it's been since East Ascension's beaten Santa Ma. They had a 70-plus game district winning streak that was broken last year by Dutchtown.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's incredible. Amy Petrie just has done a super, super job.
Ball 4, and that will put Rabelais at first base. Brings up Kinley Mesh. Mesh had that double.
You know, she lost those 2 games to Dutchtown last season, but last year might have been her best coaching job ever because they didn't win district. Dutchtown won district. They were kind of lower in the seeding, and a lot of people thought, well, they may make a run, but there's no way they're going to win state. They won state.
Amari Long, the courtesy runner now at first base. Brings up Mesh, left-handed batter. Strike on the outside corner. Leads the team in doubles, batting .376 coming into this game.
Good job by Stevens to hold on to that. You don't want to get 2 runners in scoring position.
That one will be driven in the gap between right and center. 1 run will score, 2 runs will come across, and that was a big 2 RBI double for Kinley Mesh. And that's why she leads the team in doubles, because she keeps doing it.
And she gets 2 RBIs. It's 5-4, and she has Santa Ma's 2 hits in this game. She had that deep fly ball to left field that Johnson couldn't get a hold of, and now she just hit that one clean to the gap.
Braylee Decato will step up now. Runner in scoring position and back in this ball game. The Lady Gators saying we are not going quietly into this good night.
No way. They never do.
Swing and a miss. Strike 1. That was a big swing.
Yeah, I think she was a little bit behind it. She saw it kind of in her wheelhouse right there, a little high, and so I think she might have got her eyes might have gotten big for a second, but just kind of late.
Looked like a beach ball to her for a minute. 1-1.
This is about what I've expected here, Jimmy. It's going to be a relatively high scoring game, not a 13-12 game, but you're going to get a lot of runs, and it's been a well played game so far.
Outside and high, 2-1.
If you're a top 10 team in the state and doing well in this district, these are 2 teams that you could see in Sulphur at the end of the season if things go their way.
Boy, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Those teams in Sulphur.
I forget what year it was, Jimmy, but I think it was about 13 or 14. You had the 3 of the 4 teams in Sulphur were East Ascension, Santa Ma, and Dutchtown.
Wow.
And guess who won state? Sam Houston.
Hey. That one could be driven in the gap as well, and it will be. Another run will score, and we're all tied up at 5. Unbelievable job for these Lady Gators.
You never count them out. Crooked innings, crooked numbers.
You say they come in batches, and
yep,
especially for the Gators, and they've done it here in this 4th inning.
And this
2 outs, too.
This is exactly what I expected from these 2 teams. Close, a lot of hitting, good base running. And this game has not disappointed so far.
Hudson Bowler now. Called strike. Flew out to center her last trip up. Was stranded at second in the 2nd inning after being walked.
Decato has 2 RBIs on the day.
This is going to be a looping fly ball. Coming in on it to make the play is Berthelot. And Berthelot will end the inning. But what an inning it was. They score 3 runs on 1 hit. 2 hits, excuse me.
Yep.
We head to the middle of the 5th inning, and it is time to take a look at the non-select softball.
Oh, we're taking a break.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some of the services we offer to help get you out of pain and back in action. Dry needling involves inserting thin, sterile needles into trigger points within muscles to release tension, reduce pain, and improve movement. It's highly effective for muscle tightness, chronic pain, and headaches. Joint manipulation. By applying a quick, controlled force to a joint, we can restore mobility, reduce stiffness, and relieve pain. Cupping therapy uses suction cups to increase blood flow, reduce muscle tension, and promote healing. With instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization, we apply targeted pressure to break down scar tissue and speed up recovery. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
And we're back. We are heading to the top of the 5th if you're scoring at home. Promise you. And we are knotted at 5 apiece. We've got 5 across the scoreboards, and we will start things off for the Lady Spartans with Emma Blanchard, followed by Avery Stevens and then Madison Stevens.
So it seems like every time one team has a big inning, the other team is able to respond, and that's what's going on right now. We are tied at 5.
Foul tip. Strike 1 to Emma Blanchard. Again, the only freshman in the starting lineup for the Lady Spartans.
This is the first time since the first at-bat that this game has been tied.
The Lady Spartans jumped out early. Since then, the Lady Gators have fought back incrementally. It hasn't been like they've just gotten 2 runs, 1 run here, 2 runs there, just really done a good job to pick their way back into this one.
And it looked like they got a little space between them in the top of the inning with the home run, but they did not.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
This is what you get when you got 2 evenly matched teams in a strong district. And you notice there haven't been a lot of mistakes, not a lot of errors, clean fielding, right. Good pitching.
Burke is back in the circle for the Santa Maria Lady Gators. And she cups the ball differently, and I really enjoy watching the different pitches, the different styles. Yeah. It's definitely not the same motion. Foul back.
I like how she takes the ball out, and then she kind of flicks her wrist back and then comes back in. There's all kind of unique sort of methods, whether you're talking about baseball or softball.
Swung and a miss, swing and a miss, strike 3, and got her swinging.
Good pitch right there by Brentley Burke. Came at her with the high heat.
First strikeout for Burke in relief. Avery Stevens, the junior catcher. That time a little high.
She popped the short and then flew out to left. Had a well-hit ball, but it went straight to the left fielder.
Yep. One and one. Out of play, 1 and 2. She's got a pretty good command of the strike zone. She's not been throwing strikes, has Burke.
Definitely has. She came in after Baker homered, and she has not given up any runs.
That one will be driven to left field, and that will drop for a base hit. Nice job. Nice piece of hitting that time for Avery Stevens.
And it wasn't as well hit as her previous drive to left, but that one was able to drop much quicker, and you saw the left fielder, Trish, coming in like she was going to make perhaps a diving attempt at it, but she thought twice, and that was probably the right decision.
I think it was definitely the right decision, because if you miss it, then you got a real problem because it was a hard play for Moran to get over to back her up.
In a tie game, you don't want to give up extra bases, especially once you get past the fourth inning.
Do we have a courtesy runner come on?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We'll get that in just a second.
This is Madison Stevens at the plate.
I think that's Riley Bourgeois.
Yep, that's what I have too. Very compact strike zone for Madison Stevens. She really gets down low. She's not exactly a giant in stature anyway, but she really crouches down and makes that strike zone really tough to find. Found it that time, though, 2-1.
Yeah, that was a fortunate strike right there for her. You don't want to fall behind 3-0.
Runner goes, throw down to second, and can't handle it is the shortstop, Ducote. Pretty good throw that time, and I'm telling you.
I think so, too. It was a good throw, and the shortstop, Ducote, just had trouble getting a hold of it, it looks like.
Rabelais got an arm from that catcher spot. I was watching her when she threw down in between the innings, and, man, she did it from her knees and threw a cannon.
So for Bourgeois, that's the 12th stolen base.
Full count.
She does not have an official at bat all season, but she runs the bases like a speed demon.
Well, you contribute where you can. Everybody's a part of the team for sure.
Yep.
3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Swung on, strike 3. Ring up KO number 2.
And that's a big out because you got the runner in scoring position now. The problem is you got Babe Ruth coming up to the plate right here. She hit that one a mile in the previous at bat.
This is Savannah Baker, the sophomore pitcher.
Oh, great change of pace.
Nice off speed.
You know how you not get her to hit the ball over the Intimidator? Drop it like that.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've got 2 outs in the top of 5. Just below the knees.
I think that's where you're going to see a lot of these pitches is below the knees.
Right.
Don't want to get one up in her strike zone.
3-1.
Good eye right there. First base is open, too, so you're probably not going to see something too inviting.
And she will walk. Good job for Rabelais to hang on to the ball and not prevent the runner going to third.
And that's a wise decision, I think, by Burke. Don't give her something that she's going to take to the gap or take over the fence. And take your chances with Bradbury, although she had a clean double in her first at-bat against Burke in the last inning.
Toby Landry will now come on courtesy run, pinch run. Brings up Adeline Bradbury. Bradbury, the right fielder, batting .279. Had a double, was stranded at third in the 4th. That was a little slinger. I thought that was a strike, but it was an outside, ball 1.
Just tough to judge from our vantage point.
Swing and a miss. 1-1. Mighty cut that time for Bradbury. Sun's finally gone down behind the press box here, and that's swinging and a miss, strike 2.
Big pitch right here from Burke. You got the 1-2 count. It's a pitcher's count. See if she can get Bradbury to chase something out the strike zone right here, perhaps.
Got 2 strikeouts in the inning. She'll foul this one off and stay alive.
want to get a run right here if you're East Ascension, because you want to keep putting the pressure on Santamon, because they kind of have that offensive momentum right now. They've gotten 5 runs in the last couple of innings.
Ooh, stays alive, just skips it off the top of the bat.
In the last 2 innings, Santamon got 2 in the third and 3 in the fourth. So they are gaining momentum. You need to keep putting it to them right here.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Off-speed pitch, doesn't find the mark. Good job for Bradbury to hold off.
Yeah, you had one that you could waste right there and see if you can get her to chase it.
Yep.
Good discipline.
Foul ball. She's got an opportunity. Rabelais makes the catch behind the plate, and that ends the inning. Couple of runners left stranded. We head to the middle of the 5th inning, and we will take a look at the Division I non-select softball playoff format.
And so we talked about this on Tuesday if you were watching. If not, you have 6 byes in the first round because you only have 26 teams instead of 32, and that's what you see right there. Then you get to the bye district round, and that's going to be seeds 7 through 26. Then you have the regionals that are going to be played on April 23rd, the quarterfinals on the 26th, and then you go to Sulphur, just like you do for baseball. Semifinals and finals will be played on May 2nd and May 3rd. So softball is in Sulphur that week, and then the following week, baseball is played in Sulphur. So Sulphur is always the destination.
And if you've never been to Sulphur to watch some either baseball playoffs or softball, it is a great facility.
Yep.
Just a fun place to be, and they really do a good job with it down in southwestern part of the state.
Yeah, I've never been able to go because that's always during graduation, and so I always have to be at graduation, and I'd love to see it one time. That's for sure.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it will be leading things off Kenley Trish, followed by the 9-hole hitter Allen, I believe.
It looks like Causey's in the on-deck circle, so we'll see if she stays in to bat. If you remember, Allen pinch hit for Causey, but Causey stayed in the field at second base. She's in the on-deck circle right now.
Good point. Trish struck out and walked so far in the ball game. Still rocking the circle is Savannah Baker.
Her issue has been control.
Yep.
8 walks, giving up a walk every inning.
But amazingly, she's been able to not allow this game. This one's going to be driven to center field and caught right at the wall. Great job for Berthelot. And she might have hurt her.
Yeah, I think she kind of hurt her ribs right there because she hit that wall very hard. Do we have the replay? There it is. So I watch her, and she crashes into the Ross Downing sign. And Jackson's come and say, "Hey, good place to back up. I don't feel well right now." And
she looks like she's okay.
I think she's okay. That's a brave play right there by the center fielder. So hit where the center field camera is. That's why you're seeing that on the replay.
Wow.
Did our center field camera survive?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. You heard it right there when you saw the contact when it happened, and we still have the camera, so we're glad everything's okay.
And we still have the center fielder, so that's the important
Yeah,
thing.
now look at the camera right above it. I did not see that until you pointed it out, Andre.
Slap, strike. 0-2.
Glad everybody is okay and that didn't lose any money.
This is Causey. And she will slap this one in the gap between third and short. She'll have a base hit. And Santamon has definitely come to life.
You know how you keep Touye from making a play right there? Hit it away from her. Hit something that you can't reach. And that's exactly what happened. So now you got the go-ahead run for the Gators at first base. Santa Ma has never had the lead.
We go back to the top of the order with Riley Moran. And you saw Tullier running up that third base line. She was expecting a sacrifice bunt, or at least a bunt of some sort.
You talk about a fearless player right there. And the infield is playing in, and the outfield is playing very, very shallow. So I think everybody in the ballpark is expecting a slap right here, or a bunt.
Evens the count of 1-1 to Moran.
Tullier's not afraid of much. She's played competitive softball for a very long time, part of the USA program. She's had lots of experience. She knows what she's doing out there.
Committed to Auburn Montgomery, right?
No, that's Houston.
Oh, Houston.
Yes.
Houston.
Yeah, that was.
That
was Mackenzie Smith.
Mackenzie Smith. Yep.
Yes. Who a lot of Santa Ma people were familiar with. Former pitcher for the Lady Gators.
1-2 the count now. One out. Bottom of 5. Evens it up to 2-2.
Coach Ricka has confidence in Baker. She's thrown a lot of pitches and given up a lot of base runners, but she's still in there.
Moran stays alive as she fouls this one back.
And don't forget, she also threw 4 innings on Tuesday.
It is definitely the difference in a baseball pitcher and a softball pitcher with the underhand motion. Saves the shoulder and the elbow a lot.
Yeah. You see pitchers with this Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule for district may pitch all 3 games. If you pitch Tuesday, it would take a miracle to pitch on Saturday sometimes. It's a hitter.
Right in the forearm, and it would have been ball 4 anyway, but she'll take one for the team and go to first base.
So first and second, and Coach Tony coming to the circle, and they're going to talk about it. At least right now, it looks like they're staying with her. My guess, in terms of the most innings pitched this season, that would be Mackenzie Creel. She leads the Lady Spartans with 79 2/3 innings pitched. If they go to the bullpen, I'm guessing that's where they would go. They're not doing that right now. Want to get her out of this inning, perhaps. See what she can do. And she's given up some runs in the last couple of innings. She kind of had the golden touch in the first couple of innings where she gave up traffic but did not give up any runs. Base hit right now would give Santa Ma their first lead.
Ducote steps into the left side of the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ball high.
Lots of speed on the base paths, too.
Good block that time by Stevens.
We've seen that a couple of times. And you were talking about a situation where you can create havoc on the base pass. This might be a situation where you see something like that. As Coach Tony is going to have a talk with the home plate umpire, we may be having the switch right now. There it is.
Yep.
And so
Savannah will come out.
Yes.
And Mackenzie.
Let's see, that's number 10, so that is Mackenzie Creel.
Yep.
So Mackenzie Creel, the designated player, now moves to the circle. And it doesn't look like Baker will stay in defensively for now.
Yeah, because Berthelot, the center fielder, is not hitting.
Yes. So likely will be hitting in that spot. Or likely stay in that move. Basically just flip-flop positions for Creel and Baker. And she comes in with a 2-0 count and the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. No problems, right?
Nothing to it. Let's see what Creel can do. Fires her first pitch. Called strike.
That's what you do. Get that first pitch over the plate and build some confidence. You don't want to be 3-0.
Squaring the bunt. Pulling it back. 3 balls and a strike now to Dakota.
1 ball away from loading the bases.
And she does. Tough spot for Creel to come in that spot. But the bases are loaded now, and it brings up Olivia Johnson, and we know what she can do.
Absolutely.
9 home runs on the season, batting 400.
We had a situation where Creel had that exact same scenario where she had the bases loaded and the Ducks were on the pond and they got her to fly out to center. And that kind of changed the trajectory of this game.
Creel's pitch is high. Turning out to be a beautiful night here. The wind's still blowing, but not quite as hard.
No, it can't.
That pitch was inside. 2 balls.
Corner's playing a little bit in. Everybody's playing about medium depth, not completely in. Outfield's in regular depth.
3-0. Count to Johnson. Got nowhere to put her.
And a cleanup hitter on deck.
And she will walk in a run for the first lead of the afternoon for Santa Maria.
That's an easy way to get an RBI. And so Creel's having trouble finding the strike zone.
Brings up Brooke Rabelais, batting 409. She walked and scored a run back in the 4th.
Not a lot of base hits for the Lady Gators. It's only 5, but you got 6 runs out of it. Efficient and taking advantage of some of those walks. And we're going to have another courtesy runner. That's going to be long.
Let's see what Rabelais can do. Still only 1 out.
Right.
Santa Maria takes their first lead on the walk.
Extra bases could completely change this ball game.
Got to get it down in the strike zone as that one's way high. And again, Stevens has to go and pick it out of the air.
Before you even think about extra bases, you got to see a pitch that you can do something with.
Called strike.
Infield still playing shallow. I'm sure the first, unless you get an easy tailor-made double play ball, the first option is going to be the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2-1. Rabelais is going to make her pitch to her. Three and 1.
6 runs in the last 2 1/3 innings for the Lady Gators.
Well, that is definitely coming back. And
Definitely so.
Making it happen. That one's going to be popped. It's down the right field line, and it's going to be foul. Trying to make a play on it was the right fielder, Adeline Bradbury. I thought it might sneak into the field of play, but it was about 3 feet wide.
Especially the way the wind's blowing. I agree with you, Jimmy. I think I was wondering if that was going to hit some chalk out there, but it did not.
Staying alive, here's Rabelais. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, nowhere to put the runner if she would walk her. Has already walked in a run. And this one will be driven into center field, right to the center fielder Berthelot. 1 run will score, and they take a 2-run lead. Good job on the tag.
And that's a good job of just getting that run across. That's an insurance run at this point for Santa Monica. That's why you don't worry about the big inning in those in the third and the fourth. You just chip away and you chip away so that you can keep on getting runs. And now all of a sudden you have a 2-run lead just like that.
And you still got 2 runners on with 2 outs. And it is Kinley Mesh stepping to the plate.
I think it was a good job keeping Dakota at second and not going for third right there, because she might have been a dead duck right there on that throw.
First pitch to Mesh was a strike. Going to throw down. Goes in the center field. Luckily, Berthelot there to back up the throw.
Yeah, you had Dakota going back to the bag, and her momentum was going in the opposite direction, so there really wasn't much opportunity for her to get to third. Still, risky play. But you know what, Jimmy? They got a base runner at second out on Tuesday in Prairieville, so she's got experience making that play.
Evens the count at 2-2 on with that strike. Rocket and fire, and it's Creel, and that one's outside. Full count.
You got runners on first and second, so a walk would not drive in a run, but you don't want to load the bases.
Grounder scooped up at shortstop by Lanou, and Lanou will throw it to first for the out, and that will do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. Couple runners left stranded, but they get the big runs to take the lead, 7-5. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the REV Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you some simple techniques that you can do at home to increase mobility and improve posture. The seated thoracic extension using a foam roller will improve your posture. Support your neck with your hands and keep your feet flat on the ground. Lean back over the foam roller while keeping your lower back neutral. Standing wand flexion is easy and very effective. Using a shoulder width grip, keep your arms straight and slowly raise the wand overhead as far as comfortable. For the pectoralis stretch, stand near a doorway and place your forearms against the wall at a 90-degree angle. Step forward slightly till you feel a slight pull in your chest to feel a stretch. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
Brinley Burke back in the circle for the Santa Maria Lady Gators. They take the lead 7-5. It's going to be an interesting inning for the Lady Spartans. They've got to get something going here. It's getting late in this ball game as we start the top of the 6th inning.
And it's funny how things can change really quickly. At one point it was 5-2 East Ascension a couple of innings ago. Now all of a sudden Santa Maria 6 outs away from victory.
Zakiah Jackson will lead things off in the 9, holding back to the top of the order with Toulier and Lanou. Strike. Jackson flew out to left, popped out to the catcher for only 2 trips to the plate tonight. She was third.
She homered on Tuesday. We talked about that earlier.
And she drives this one to left field.
Wow.
It is gone! Just like that, one swing of the bat. And we've got a run ball game.
Yeah, that might have gone out of the baseball park right there. That was crushed. And I was talking about how the wind might help the home runs. We've had 2 home runs today. Neither one of them needed the wind to help them out.
Line drive right over the state championship sign in left field. And that brings up the top of the order, Touye.
7-6. This one has lived up to its billing.
Low and inside, ball 1.
And this is how close EA has come in just a short couple of years, competing toe-to-toe with the best in the state.
Got to shake that off as Burke. She's just got to let that go. 1 run, not the end of the world.
No, but you got a person here who's 50-50 getting on base, even more than that when you consider the walks.
Right. And it's 3-0 right now. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Walker. Again.
Well, you get on. That's now 8 in a row that she's reached base just in games that have been covered by Rev this week.
3 walks for her and then a base hit. Her first trip in the first inning was a base hit and then walked consecutive times after that.
A tying run at first.
4 straight balls now for Brentley Burke. And this is a looping pop-up. It will be caught by the shortstop. Boy, she got twisted up a little bit, did Bailey to Cody, but she was able to make the play.
And Touye was going on the pitch, so she had to hustle back to first base, trying to get her 4th stolen base of the day. Hit and run was definitely on right there.
1 out. And this will be popped out of play.
Touye on the move again.
This is Mackenzie Creel, so she has stayed in the same spot in the batting order, and of course she came in to pitch, replacing Savannah Baker in the 5th. Ooh, she thought about it. Touye just kind of dancing, bobbing her head, said, come on, do something. I'll go either way.
She was about 30 feet down, and she was challenging her, daring her to throw.
You said it several times. She's fearless on the base path and in the field. This one is popped up and I believe out of play. It is.
Just barely, though. Man, that's good break for East Ascension, as that could have been the 2nd out. And again, Touye was on the move. Trying to get maybe a little hole there at 2nd or short to try to get a base hit and move her to 3rd.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here to Creel. Creel stays alive. Ran out of softballs.
Yep.
They're all in the baseball field.
Exactly. They should be easy to find, those fluorescent things.
You're right.
Those are golf balls I used to use.
No doubt.
Because they're easy to find in the woods.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the woods. So, nice job. Oh, it just hit her.
So they're going to call batter's interference, and both runners are out because the catcher hit Lanu in the back, or hit Creel in the back of the head, and that's going to end the inning.
Man, I got to tell you, I looked down and marked my scorecard, and it sounded like a gunshot.
Yeah. Creel was walking back to the dugout. Let's look at the replay right here.
Struck her out, and then boom, right in the back of the noggin.
Yep, and they're going to call interference right there,
Yep.
and that's what you have to call right there. And so I think that Coach Ricka had to just get verified what they called there, and she didn't put up much of an argument.
No.
So that'll end the inning.
That will end the inning, and we got a lot of things, good stuff coming up on Rev.
And so when you look at it, of course, on Saturday, you're going to be down at East Ascension with Mike as you're going to get Dutchtown at East Ascension baseball. On Tuesday, I'll be out here at Sanamaw for Prairieville at Sanamaw with Mike. And then next week, you're going to have softball, Dutchtown at Sanamaw. And again, that might have district championship implications.
That is the makeup game that we were supposed to have last Saturday that got rained out.
Yeah, Sanamaw is 2 to 3 games behind a couple of teams in district. I guess Livingston Parish, I guess their weather was better than Ascension Parish's weather because there's a couple of teams that are in Livingston that have some extra games under their belts. And now you see Coach Petrie right there. Right now you're in the bottom of the 6th. You know that you're going to go into the 7th with the lead and 3 outs away from victory. So your kind of focus changes here, even though you got 4, 5, and 6 coming up, Jimmy, because if you can get maybe 1 run in, you don't need a 5-run inning, although that would be great too. But if you can get 1 run, make it 8-6.
Yep.
And not have a situation where you can tie it up on 1 swing of the bat. And the applause right there is for Creel because she's coming back. She got. I don't think that was deliberate on anybody's part.
No.
But man, when your pitcher goes in and gets her bell rung like that, that could have been devastating.
I'm telling you, it did sound like a gunshot to me.
Yeah.
So Brayley Decato will lead things off, followed by Hudson Bowler and Kinley Trish for Sanamaw.
It looks like she's okay.
Yeah. And we're glad to hear that and see that.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that. I mean, I've seen batter's interference on stolen bases before, but I've never seen a player get hit square in the back of the head.
All right, Decato steps to the plate. Starts at the bottom of the 6th. A little high, ball 1.
If Decato can get on, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw somebody lay it down right here. Like I said, 1 run could make a big difference.
1-1, evens it up.
Sanamaw has scored in 3 straight innings. They got 2 in the 3rd, they got 3 in the 4th, and then they got 2 in the 5th. They will have the lead going into the 7th.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike.
Close pitch.
Called strike.
Good framing job there by Avery Stevens. Looked like she pulled it back a little bit. Umpire took it.
She's done that a few times. Hadn't gotten a call very often, but that time she definitely did. Evens it up at 2 apiece. Foulback staying alive is Decato. Good. It would be good pop-up fly ball practice, not being able to see it, and then catching the ball over in the baseball field. If they would just sit back there and practice that.
Exactly. That'd be fun to do.
Yeah. Right down the first base line, and that one tails off. Foul.
Yep.
Our umpire had to make a nifty move to get out of the way of that one.
Very nimble. First base coach kind of went between them.
Yep. It's neat because we are really right down the first base line. You could just see that ball just tailing off.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouling off 2 straight pitches here. Decatur will get hit, and she'll go to first base.
So you've had a couple of hit batters over the last inning or two for the lady. For the Lady Gators. That's going to be Devin Tanner.
Yes, number 19
coming in to run, and if Bowler doesn't drop one right here, I would be the most shocked person in this ballpark.
Hudson will step to the right side of the batter's box. No outs, a runner at first base after Decatur got hit, and it's Tanner running for her.
And she's swinging away. How about that?
Fouled it off.
And I don't think that the infield was surprised by that. They played back.
Yep. So you're the only surprised person in the
Well, I guess I've been calling the home runs here today, and I've been pretty close on the score, but I missed out on that one right there. Oh well.
You're forgiven on this one. 0-2, fouls 2 straight back.
She's gotten on base all 3 times today, so she's got the hot bat.
This one will be poked out into right field, and it's going to drop.
Did they have a play at second?
Nope, didn't get her in time, but that was close, definitely close.
Yep.
So Bowler.
I'm going to double down on it. No outs, first and second, dropping it right here.
Well, I'm going to say I'm pulling for you, pal. This is Trish. And she does lay it down, and it will roll foul.
Made the right decision right there. You saw Blanchard walk right up to it and watch it take a 90-degree turn.
Yep.
Down the baseline.
So much for it being softer. That ball was spinning. Boop, right out of play. Let's see if she does it again. 0-1 to Trish. She does try, and she'll pull it back, and the runners will advance on the ball that gets away from Stevens.
So you get the wild pitch. Now the runner is in scoring position. Now, do you stay square or do you swing away? Maybe a little safety squeeze right here. Nope, swinging away, looks like.
2-1. No outs, and we're in the bottom of the 6th. Runners in scoring position for the Lady Gators. Inside, and it, yeah, it was on 3. I was about to say if it nicked her, I think she thought she got hit. She'll come back, though.
And she's going to get to take a look at a 3-1 pitch. That's probably the best pitch that you can see from a batter's perspective, except maybe a 3-0 that you're not swinging at because you don't swing at 3-0.
And tied. Now she can take her base, and the bases are loaded.
You're not going to drop one right here.
No. No, I don't think so.
Now you're going to get it looks like Allen's going to come back and hit right here. So Causey will stay in the dugout for this at bat. Sandoval flirting with opening the floodgates here. But they've had traffic before and left them stranded. But with nobody out and the runners on all of the bases, and you got 9 and in the top of the order, that's going to be a tough task.
Well, let's see if the Lady Spartans can pull it together here. Creel rocks and fires. That was a good pitch for a strike.
If I remember correctly, Allen hit a deep fly ball to the left. If she makes good contact, it could be a problem. Wind's still blowing pretty stiff.
Thought it was going to die down, but it has not. She'll swing and miss this one, or foul tip it. 0-2.
Yeah, every now and then you have clouds coming in from left field. It was a clear day for most of the day. Then the clouds started coming in. And there's a run.
And that will hit in a run, I suppose. Not walking her in. That's the second hit batsman in the inning.
And you got to wonder how Creel's feeling.
Right.
Because if you missed it, she got hit in the back of the head from a throw from the catcher to second base.
And she's still grabbing the back of her neck a little bit every once in a while.
That was just so unfortunate. Now you're going to get a courtesy run. That's Rockefort. You got 2 hit batters, a single, and a walk this inning. And we talked about what it meant for East Ascension earlier. If Sandoval can win, they get to 7 in the win column. That's going to be hard for other teams to catch up with, especially considering they still have Prairieville and Denham on the schedule, which should be wins.
Back to the top of the order with Riley Moran, followed by Ducote. Outside, 1-1.
Right now, they have 1 loss, and you have 4 teams with 3 losses after that. And that means that if you can beat Prairieville and Denham with a win tonight, then the worst you could do is tie for a district title.
Right. Two one. Two balls and a strike. Here we go. Strike. Whoa. Evens the count at 2-2. Let's see what Creel can throw here. Moran tried to slap one down the right field or left field line or third base line and hits it foul.
Big pitch here for Moran. You got to get an out right here just to stop the momentum.
8-6 with the bases loaded. Bottom of the 6th inning.
This was once a 5-2 lead for EA.
Hitter.
3 in this inning.
And that will hit in a run. Again, 9-6. Bases remain loaded.
Up to bat, number 1, Bailey DeCote.
And now you got 2, 3, and 4 coming up. And you might have to take Creel out right here. She just, since that hit to the back of the head, she's faced 5 batters and hit 3 of them.
Yep. And I do believe we're going to make a change.
Hasn't gotten out this inning. That's just a terrible break. And it looks like they're calling for Lexi Johnson, number 1. She's grabbing her face guard.
So Lexi will come on to pitch in the place of Creel, and she will leave the ball game after hitting 3 batters in this 6th inning.
Feel bad for her because of what happened. As you watch the replay right here, this is what happened if you missed it. Swings at a pitch outside the strike zone, and then she gets hit in the back of the head on the throw to second because Touye was attempting a steal.
And it looks like it caught her right at the helmet, right below the helmet. Like, watch right here. It's right there. It didn't catch her square in the helmet. It caught her, like, right on the side of the neck.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to determine right there. But our fearless director, Andre, showing us what happened. Lexi Johnson's only pitched 5 innings because basically you got Baker and Creel that have done almost all of the work, and then you got Johnson who's thrown 5 innings. You got Aubrey Guidros who's thrown 2 2/3, and Bradbury who came in to pitch to a batter. It looks like that's what that would be, perhaps.
Boy, she's in a tough spot.
Yep. Without
a lot of experience. But sometimes you throw players into positions that they're not used to and they surprise you.
Yep. And she is in the toughest imaginable situation because if she gives up a hit with a 3-run deficit already to Santa Maria, she gives up a base hit and 2 runs scored, this game is going to be almost out of reach.
Yep. So Lexi Johnson will step into the circle, and she will do so against Bailey Ducote. Ducote way up in the batter's box. That pitch called strike. That's a good way to start.
Absolutely. That's a confidence builder right there. Can she get 2, 3, and 4 out?
Left-handed pitcher, too. First time we've seen that this week. That pitch, low and outside.
You're talking about how you like to pay attention to the deliveries. This almost looks like a major league pitcher right there.
Yep.
With the full windup.
Steps, rocks, and fires. And that one's right to the first baseman, Blanchard. Blanchard can't hang on to it. It was a line shot, and it was just hard hit.
I'm going to call that an infield hit right there.
I think so, too. I mean, that was just hard to deal with.
Yeah, and that's a tough break because that could have been a double play because if she gets that, she just steps on the bag.
That's it. So it's another run scores, 10-6 now.
And what was a very competitive game all night has started to go Santa Ma's way. Remember there was a 5-2 lead for East Ascension just a couple of innings ago.
Olivia Johnson now at the plate. Hitting in 3-hole spot.
And again, this was a tough situation where Creel she tried after the hit to the head, but she just couldn't do it today.
Wouldn't be surprised if they got her checked out after this ball game.
Yeah.
Good pitch. 0-2 the count. Still no outs here. Bases remain loaded. 3 hit batters in the inning, and that has walked in 2 runs, and then that hard shot to Blanchard at first base. She couldn't hang on to it. Allowed another run to score. High.
So Lyle pointing this out as we look right here. Actually, Creel had come in to play first for Blanchard. So Creel was in at first base.
Okay. So that keeps her in the game. Gotcha. Our executive producer, glad he's feeling better. Keeping us on track. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's absolutely right.
And that one is driven deep. That could be a granny. Forget about it. A grand slam dinger. 14-6. 2 more, we might not get to the 7th.
Wow.
Still no outs.
Yeah, we're 2 runs away from being run ruled at this point. This game has flipped.
Grand slam home run and right over left center field wall. And again, no outs, and it brings up Rabelais.
And after that, we are going to see Creole come out of the game as number 17, Anna Grace Johnson, is now playing first. And I felt bad for her right there because not only she comes out the game so you can give her a little breather, and what happens first contact right in her face.
Yeah.
I could understand why she couldn't grab that one, perhaps.
A looping fly ball, will it drop? And it will not. Good play by the second baseman, Madison Stevens, and that's the first out of the inning.
I think that's the first grand slam I've seen here at this ballpark, which is actually a surprise with some of the power hitters that they've had over the years. Eight-run lead. First 7 batters all have scored this inning.
Wow.
And they will bat around this inning, for sure.
Mesh.
It was 7-6, Jimmy, when this inning began. When the bottom of this inning began.
Just an amazing turn of events. And it really all started with that hit to the back of the head and the inning being over with the interference call.
Yeah, because that would have been the second out, and Touye would have been at second because she had that base stolen.
That's going to drop for a base hit. Good hit by Kinley Mesh.
And now you're in a position where one swing of the bat, this game could be over.
Brings up Decato. Let's see if maybe coach is going to make a change.
Possibly a courtesy runner.
Yeah.
Up to bat, number 24, Braywood Cody.
So Decato looks like she's still going to come in and swing away, and nobody has been replaced.
Right, I'm not sure what the discussion was. Umpire definitely marked a few little things on his lineup card.
I wonder if she's making plans for the 7th inning.
Still 1 out. 14-6 is the score after the grand slam. That looked like a good pitch, but it was a little low. Again, this is Braylee Decato. Started the night on the mound. High, ball 2.
The only batter to make an out this inning so far is Rabelais, and we have batted around.
Two balls, no strikes. Ball 3. She will be taken all the way. Bat will remain on her shoulder.
I am sure.
For sure. Skipped one into the catcher, chasing it down as Stevens, and that will advance the runners on the walk. Brings up Bowler, Hudson Bowler. She had a base hit and scored earlier this inning. Well, if Bowler can just put it out in play.
Anything to the gap could end it.
Johnson rocks and fires again high. Lexi Johnson has come into a very, very, very tough situation here.
Yeah, she was not expecting to be on the mound today.
No. That may be the understatement.
Yeah, Creel was supposed to finish it.
Call strike. Evens the count of one apiece. Bowler will be followed by Trish if all things go halfway according to plan. And that will be right to Touye. Touye will step on the bag. Throw to first. Will she get two? Not in time. But a nice play for Touye at third to step on the bag, gun it to first. Tie goes to the runner.
I want to see that again because maybe the first baseman got off the bag. It looked like the throw was on time.
Nah, I think she beat it out.
It was close. Fielder's choice.
So 2 down now. This is Trish. Call strike.
Again, extra bases, especially with the runners going on contact with 2 outs. Could get to the run rule.
Ooh, Trish wanted to swing at it. Probably should have.
Yeah, I think so. I think she has regrets.
0-2. Boy, if Johnson could just get him out of this inning without giving up any more runs and let the Lady Spartan bats come alive. We'll see. This is going to be a looper. Easy can of corn for the second baseman, Madison Stevens. And that will do it for an exciting, crazy bottom of the 6th. We head to the top of the 7th. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Haley Leindecker with Action Therapy and Wellness in Gonzales, and I'm here to show you simple exercises to improve shoulder strength and thoracic mobility for all athletes. Resisted external rotation will strengthen your rotator cuff. Stand tall with your arms straight out and the elbow bent at 90 degrees. Keeping your elbow in place, rotate your arm outward against the resistance. For internal rotation, set up the same 90-90 arm position, but with the resistance anchored on the same side. Rotate your arm inward, bringing your hand towards the ground while keeping your elbow fixed. This is called open books and half kneeling. The resistance band is held forward with both hands. Rotate your upper body open to the side, pulling the band across while keeping your lower body stable. Action Therapy and Wellness specializes in physical therapy, sports therapy, occupational, and hand therapy. Just remember, no referrals needed. Give us a call today.
Toby Landry will step to the plate for her first opportunity in the ball game, followed by Avery Stevens and Madison Stevens, the first 3 batters. 3 outs away here for the Lady Gators to come away with a hard-fought victory. And, boy, the whole complexion of the game changed after that unfortunate play in the right there at the bottom of the 6th,
yeah.
Or right there in the middle of the 6th.
Yeah, you had a runner at second, possibly with 2 outs, but there was batter's interference, and it was on Creel, who was the pitcher, and she got hit in the back of the head by the baseball. She tried to come back in and pitch in the bottom of the 6th, but she could not. She couldn't get anybody out, and you can kind of understand that because I'm sure she's in a lot of pain right now. But that kind of just ended it, and Santa Maria likely coming out with a victory here tonight.
Toby Landry, batting from the right side, fouls it off.
So she is in what was originally Emma Blanchard's spot. Then I think when Creel got moved to first base and then taken out by Johnson, Johnson is in Creel's spot. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here.
One ball, one strike. Top of the 7th inning. If the Lady Gators can get out of this one, they will win this one. Didn't go around 2-1.
Burke did a good job. They started with Decato. Burke is in a position to get the win here today.
Strike number 2. Yeah, she has done a fine job coming off the bench.
Yeah. That would be her 3rd win of the season if she can pull it off.
Change up, misses high. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up and out of play. Zane Chapoy almost made the grab.
Good job, Zane.
Remains full. Pretty good at bat for someone that hasn't batted in this game yet and hasn't batted a ton this season. And she will loop this one, trying to make a play on it, and it was foul.
Yep. Hit that Bermuda Triangle.
Yep. That's a good way to put it.
Yep, I've seen that happen where the third baseman, left fielder, and shortstop hits in between all 3 of them. I remember Arkansas losing a national championship on a play like that with the left fielder, first baseman, and second baseman hit between all 3 of them.
And the first batter is on with a walk. So Landry keeps the hopes alive. Brings up Avery Stevens, the catcher. Gets by him, and she will advance to Landry.
So you got 1 runner in scoring position. They're going to need about 6 more of those, 7 more of those. One inning ago, you could have potentially had a game-tying run at second base. Now it's an 8-run deficit.
Burke's got to calm down a little bit, just those strikes. Let him, I don't want to say let him hit it, but let her defense do the work. Called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. No outs.
Yep.
Top of the 7th.
East Ascension just needs base runners, so they're going to take till you see a strike. You can't hit a 7-run homer right here.
Right. That's right. And she will drive this one. It's going to be an easy pop fly and caught in left field by Trish. Didn't have to move, maybe took a step, and that was about it. And 1 down.
Clouds continue to roll in. It was a nice day, but it's not turning into a clear evening here in beautiful Santa Maria, Louisiana.
Madison Stevens now.
Was expecting the bad weather to come in on Saturday. It looks like it's rolling in a little bit, just a little cloud cover here today, though.
Yeah, I hope we can get that baseball game in on Saturday. It's going to be touch and go for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I've been there. I've been in some rain delays here at Santa Maria during playoff baseball.
No, I know it. And we expect to have a lot of good playoff baseball and softball coming up on REV in the next few weeks.
Yep, we're about a week and a half away from the softball playoffs, and then in about 2 to 3 weeks we're going to have the baseball playoffs right after that.
3 balls, no strikes, 1 out here to Madison Stevens. Stevens will take that one all the way, and it brings up 3-1.
Although Santa Maria's going to be busy, they still have 4 games to play in that week and a half before you even start thinking about the playoffs. So their position could move up, could move down. Right now they're at 3.
Uh-oh, ball 4, walk number 2. So this is Savannah Baker. Started off in the circle. Keep catching myself, my friend. I keep catching myself.
You haven't said it.
I haven't, but it's been close.
Yep. I guarantee I'd have said it 3 times if I was doing the play-by-play.
Let's see what the sophomore can do.
She went yard over the Intimidator. First home run of the day. You've had 3 so far. You had Baker with 1, Zakiya Jackson with 1 on the East Ascension side, and then you had the huge grand slam by Olivia Johnson that blew this game wide open.
One ball, one strike. To Savannah Baker, the sophomore. Ball 2, high once again, losing control.
Yeah.
Or losing command a little bit.
I'm wondering if there's somebody who's not going to go in there and have a talk with her and just say, hey, throw some strikes.
You don't have to zip it by him. Just that was a good pitch, an off-speed pitch. Boy, oh boy, she called it, and
some miscommunication there. The first baseman, Mesh, came and made contact with her, but Burke's able to hold on.
2 outs now, 1 out away from a victory. And this will be Bradbury.
You got Jackson on deck, and she homered.
Yep.
So Bradbury can keep this going.
2 runners on, first and second. 2 outs. Outside, ball 1. But she came back with a changeup on that last pitch and got her to reach for it and pop it up.
Sandwell's going to move to 7-1 in district. We talked about that. Now, as of now, Live Oak has 7 district wins. They're 7-3 overall, so they would have a full game lead on them. I believe Live Oak's playing, Prairieville today.
That off-speed pitch didn't find the mark. 2 balls and a strike. A little low, ball 3.
If she gets on base with a walk, Jackson with 1 swing in the back can make it 14-10.
My goodness, wouldn't that be something?
Then a touchdown might give them the lead. Uh-oh.
Inside, ball 4, and we do have bases loaded for Jackson.
She has hit home runs in consecutive games for the Lady Spartans. And the one that she hit, that was probably the hardest hit ball of the night.
Yep.
Either hers or Baker's, hard to tell. But unfortunately for Burke, she's not going to be able to finish, as we're going to see Haley Hebert come in to close. Not in a save situation. But I'm sure Coach Amy Petrie's basically just saying, look, let's get home. Well, we are home. It's a home game, but let's get to the house.
Right. Let's finish this off.
So Hebert, actually, I believe she got the win in the Dutchtown game coming in relief. And she's got a 2.98 ERA. She is the ERA leader.
Ooh, she's got a little zip to her fastball.
And she is primarily a relief pitcher. She is 5-1 on the year. So she's not a classic closer, but she's just kind of the person who puts out the fire.
Yep. She's 1 out away. Let's see. But she got the bases loaded here for the Lady Spartans. Zakiya Jackson will step to the plate. Like you mentioned several times, she has already knocked one over the wall. Let's see what she can do here.
Yeah, it was a line drive that got out in about 2 seconds.
Oh, it was moving. A little velo on that one. Strike 1. My mental gun, it was about 62.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, you know. Fouled in the
Whoa.
screen. Better wake up over in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, because they are way behind on her because they have been. This has been a velocity change.
Yep.
Right here.
Uh-oh. There we go. Little Gremlin got the scoreboard. And that'll be a line drive. Nice backhanded play. And that will do it. No, is she in? They called her out. First base coach saying he missed the tag, missed the bag.
They're asking for an appeal from the home plate umpire. And I think the home plate umpire just said she's out.
And that will do it.
So big comeback for the Lady Gators. Coming back from a 5-3 deficit to get a 14-6 win, Jimmy. That's a big turnaround.
That sure was, and what an exciting game it was, and sure have enjoyed it with you, my friend Jeff Porsche, and that's going to do it for us. What a great game it was, and we will have more Rev Game of the Week coming up on Saturday as we have a baseball game and, of course, a lot more coming up throughout the rest of the couple of coming weeks. We want to thank both schools for having us today and, of course, all the hospitality that Santa Ma has shown us as they always do. We want to thank our great crew, Courtney Lawrence, Priya Singleton, Zane Chapoy, our camera operators, Andre Chapoy, our director, and, of course, Lyle Boudreau back in master control, our executive producer. Glad he's feeling better. That's going to do it for us. The final score, 14-6, the Santa Ma Lady Gators over the Lady Spartans of East Ascension. For myself, Timmy Frederick, and Jeff Porsche, have a great night, everybody. You're watching the Rev Game of the Week.